I'm a Tea Party patriot, and I'm happy to be here with you tonight. I'm especially pleased to be in Denver at this conference this year because the theme is This Land We Love. The good news is there's a lot about our country that we love. The bad news is I only have 10 minutes to talk to you tonight, so I'm going to get right to it. You know what I love most about this land? The fact that our founders decided to go a different way, to chart a new course for government. They recognized a very few important things that no other government before or since recognized. First, they recognized that our rights don't come from the government. Instead, they come from our Creator, and government is designed to secure those rights. And it says so right there in the Declaration of Independence, which was signed 140 years ago this weekend. That fundamental fact makes us different from every other country on the planet and every other country in history. Second, they recognized that the single most important political right was the right to speak freely about political things, especially including the right to criticize government leaders when we think we need to. In the words of the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition their government for a redress of grievances. They didn't put that in the Second Amendment. They didn't put that in the Third Amendment. Instead, they put it in the First Amendment. That too makes this unique. No other government on the planet allows its citizens the freedom to speak politically that ours does. In fact, under the jurisprudence of the last 2+ centuries, government is not just required to allow us to speak freely, it's required to defend our right to freely speak. And if you were here earlier today, you saw the government making sure that the people had the right to voice their dissenting opinions right outside of this building. But there are some who do not share our love of free speech. And unfortunately, not all of them are in the Kremlin or in the caves of Tora Bora. In recent years, our right to free speech has come under attack. It's come under attack in different bodies of government, in different levels of government, and by people in both political parties. These attacks take different forms. Sometimes it's proposed new laws. Sometimes it's proposed new regulations. And sometimes it might even be new enforcement actions on new interpretations of laws and regulations that are already on the books. But one thing all of these actions have in common. They are attempts by establishment elites to shut down speech they oppose. And it really should come as no surprise at all that the speech that they oppose is the political speech that opposes them. You may recall that Democrats in 2010 worried in the wake of the Citizens United decision the Tea Party movement might convince enough other people to throw them out of office merely by exercising our right to free speech. So they actually directed the Internal Revenue Service to look into groups to see what could be done about us and groups like us. That was the only signal Lois Lerner needed. She sent word down the line, and before you know it, the so-called exempt organizations unit of the IRS was asking conservative groups and Tea Party groups with Tea Party and Patriots in their name. What are the books you read? What are the contents of your prayers? And other invasive questions, all designed to silence our speech. It's been more than 3 years, and still no one has been held accountable for these actions. Despite all this evidence against Lois Lerner, the Obama Department of Justice declined to prosecute her. Why, just this week, we learned of yet another massive violation of the law on her part, because it turns out that intimidating and stalling us wasn't enough for her. No, instead, she wanted to get the federal law enforcement authorities to actually prosecute conservative and Tea Party groups, and she illegally shared confidential taxpayer information with the FBI and the Department of Justice when she had no business whatsoever doing so. I think we need a do-over of that investigation. But targeting Tea Party groups, that wasn't even enough for the IRS. In 2012, they leaked more confidential taxpayer information, this time not to government agencies. This time, they leaked the information of the donors to the National Organization for Marriage so that progressive activists could wind up intimidating and trying to silence them. And again, no one has been held accountable. And perhaps what's worse, not all of these threats to free speech are found at a national level. All over the country, there are officials operating at the state and even at local levels who want to shut down speech they oppose, which, as I said before, it tends to be the speech that opposes them. Case in point, State Senator Kurt Schaefer of Missouri, who has said that if he's elected as Missouri's next Attorney General, will prosecute 501c3 and 501c4 groups who run educational campaigns in that state. It's crazy. And we'll fight him, and we'll fight anyone at any level who tries to do this and throw us in jail for exercising our free speech. Now back to the IRS. When John Koskinen, who's an IRS commissioner, when he assumed the job of running the Internal Revenue Service, he promised he would cooperate with congressional inquiries. Instead, he failed to respond to subpoenas for documents, and then he lied to Congress about it. The result, 422 backup tapes containing tens of thousands of Lois Lerner emails were destroyed. This is otherwise known as evidence. This evidence was destroyed. Some members of Congress have taken it upon themselves to seek justice. They believe, as we do, that John Koskinen is not fit to serve as the commissioner of the IRS. They believe, as we do, that John Koskinen has betrayed the public trust. And they believe, as we do, that John Koskinen's betrayal warrants impeachment. Do you believe that his betrayal warrants impeachment? Are you willing to fight for free speech? Join us at Tea Party Patriots. You can join us by going to impeachjohn.com. We need you to help us hold the IRS accountable and to protect the First Amendment at the national level, the state, and at local levels. Now let me close by saying this. Tea Party Patriots opposes attempts to restrict free speech, even when it's speech that we oppose. Voltaire, or maybe it wasn't Voltaire, said it best. I may disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Though those words are incorrectly attributed to a Frenchman, the idea behind them is quintessentially American. And to those of you who want to deny us our right to speak freely, I have just one thing to say. If you tried to deny to others the right, I'm messing it up, I'm so sorry. If you tried to deny to others to say what you think is wrong, it will not be long before you too are denied to say what you think is right. And then finally, to you, my friends, my colleagues, my compatriots, As we prepare to celebrate the anniversary of our independence, enjoy this weekend with your family and your friends, and do not allow yourselves to be silenced. Never lose sight of the blessings of liberty and the gifts our Creator has bestowed upon this land that we love. Thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. And happy Independence Day. Thank you. Thank you.